Welcome back to another deal review. Today, we're going to be talking about how we made an itty-bitty tiny little assignment fee in Iowa Park, Texas, but how that's irrelevant because of the next deal that we did because of this one. Now, I talk to you guys all the time about the importance of establishing a relationship with your end buyers, but I think we're still not giving it enough attention, and we're not establishing those relationships truly. See, we still talk about what's your buy box, and that's not what I'm saying about establishing a relationship with your end buyer. So there's going to be a live seller call at the end of this video. All right. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to that, but that's going to come after I rant and rave about what happened on this deal. So about a month ago, I got about 30 or so leads from Property Leads, and I went live and I spoke to 6 sellers, and I got 4 signed contracts. And I come out of my office and I'm feeling myself. And my team, high five, great job, RJ. All right, yeah, king closer, always locking up deals. And then they were like, but seriously, RJ, you locked up 4 contracts, and we already have our own deals to dispo. Like we're already working on these over here, and you just tacked on 4. And see, we've got this like flow that goes on. Because see, the guys that do dispositions, they're dispoing their own deals that they acquired. And so they're like, man, is there any way that maybe we could JV out 1 or 2 of these deals? I'm like, all right. Here's what I'll do for you. Iowa Park, Texas. We've never done a deal in Iowa Park. In fact, I had never even heard of Iowa Park, Texas prior to this lead. I found out it's just right outside of Wichita Falls where we had done deals. It's not like we have a known buyer for Iowa Park. So I was like, listen, Braden and Abby inside of Titanium University, they're great at dispoing deals all across Texas. Great feedback inside of the university. We've never done a deal with them. We've known them. Literally, we met them 1 year ago at Kai Logue's event in San Antonio. So it's like, why don't we reach out to them and have them do the dispositions on this deal? So I do. And Braden and Abby were such a joy to work with. I'm so proud of what they've built in their wholesale operation over the past 12 months. And listen, I reach out to Braden. I'm a horrible JV partner. I'm like, hey, bro, lock this deal up. I don't have pictures. I ain't got nothing. Here's the address. Here's the numbers. Here's what I saw. Sling it. I would not pass my own criteria to be a JV partner. I can promise you that. All right. But Braden and Abby were awesome to work with, and they start doing their thing, right? They send this out to their buyers. They're working it. We get showings. We get offers. But all of the offers were just slightly below what I locked it up for. And I'm like, well, I mean, I can go back and renegotiate. But Braden was like, not yet. Let me keep working this. Now, the thing that happens when you do rural dispositions is that the known buyers in that area, they know they're few and far between. They've got you out leveraged. See, this is what makes rural dispositions difficult. It's not that there aren't buyers. There's almost always buyers. It's the fact that they can look at you and say, you need me more than I need that deal. In fact, I could just sit back and wait for you to terminate that deal because I know I'm one of 3 buyers in the city and I can go get it. So you're out leveraged. Unless you're a part of a community where you can get the buyer that they never even knew existed, which is what Braden and Abby did here. They went up to Canada to get old Claude from Titanium University. Now, he's a known buyer. We know that. And it made me laugh when we assigned this to Claude because I was like, of course, he buys this deal. I should have known he would buy this deal. However, the reason why I didn't know Claude would buy this deal is because I hadn't built that relationship with him yet. I knew he was a buyer, but we hadn't really had that conversation yet about what is he trying to do inside his business. So Braden and Abby send the deal. He takes it. Boom. signed assignment, does his inspections, earnest money deposited. It closed and funded, I think, Monday of this week. Okay, so done deal. However, right after the assignment signed, Claude hits me up and he says, hey, man, looks like we got our first deal under our belts. What else do you got cooking? Literally one of the best things you could ever hear from an end buyer, right? So Claude and I hop on a phone call and we start really talking about his business. Now, this isn't how many bedrooms and bathrooms and square foot are you looking for. It's talking about how are you funding these deals? What's your exit strategies? Why are you doing this? Like really getting to understand what is he trying to accomplish in his business. It's not about us as the wholesaler. It's about finding out what he needs so we can produce that for him. So from this little tiny $2,500 assignment in Iowa Park, Texas, I find out exactly what Claude is needing in his business and what he's looking for. One of the things Claude was looking for was a new funding source because he is in Canada. And so funding these deals in America does come with some little hurdles that he has to overcome. So I connected him to another Titanium University member, Jeremy Dimmers, who is a lender, and they started having great conversations and they came up with a lending package for him and a plan on how he can succeed, which what does that do? They gave him more money. The other thing is I found out exactly what Claude's looking for, and the Iowa Park deal really wasn't what he was looking for. It was just kind of the price point and getting him below current market value, and he feels like there's a spread that can be made there. So it's an okay deal, but Claude likes to make more money. So we start talking about this, and I know he loves to do wholesales. I know he loves to do creative finance, and I know he loves land. But the next deal that my acquisitions team got was in Tennessee. Nowhere close to Iowa Park, Texas. Nowhere close to, say, bedroom and bathroom count or square footage or anything. But it did meet what Claude was looking for in a deal. And my team knew that. Why? Because I relayed the information from my conversation with Claude and said, hey, team, this is what Claude's looking for. Let's go get him some more deals. So funny enough, our team chat goes off, hey, Tennessee just signed the contract. Boom, great job. Titanium Flex. Yeah, we're number one. Simultaneous to while that's happening, I'm watching a hockey game. Claude sends me a text message. He's got a question. I shoot him a response, and I let him know, hey, apparently you are about to buy a deal from us in Tennessee. And he's like, oh, am I? I was like, yeah. Here's the address. Here's the numbers. Claude's like, let me look at it. Boom. He had 3 questions. Something about the park across the street, the lot size, the HOA, some just random questions. He tried to negotiate. We went back and forth, a little bit of give and take. Boom. Done. Signed assignment, earnest money deposit, and we're going to close later this month. Now, we're going to make a lot more money than the $2,500 we made on Iowa Park. Here's why this is important, though, because it's not even about this one deal in Tennessee. It's about the relationship that I now have and all of the deals moving forward that I'm going to do with Claude. And Claude is great as an end buyer about building relationships, but as a wholesaler, you have to be willing to accept it. The other thing that you have to be willing to accept at times is that the deal that you got under contract only warranted a $2,500 assignment fee. So maybe the next one could be a $10,000, a $20,000, a $50,000 assignment fee. You earn that during the acquisitions phase, not during the dispositions phase, because your end buyers are going to tell you what they can do and why. And you should understand that during acquisitions. This is why we preach. It's not about a maximum allowable offer. It's about understanding where your end buyers buy and why, and how you can continue to produce results for them. That is how you build a sustainable wholesaling operation. So you guys can watch the seller call now. It's about 8 minutes. It's a pretty decent call. But at the end of the day, the most important thing was this lead and this contract led to me getting a deal done with 3 different Titanium University members. Braden and Abby, check, first JV done deal. Claude, first deal bought from me. And it warranted the conversation where Jeremy now gets to fund a vast majority of Claude's purchases moving forward. That is a win-win-win-win situation. Jeremy won, Braden won, Claude won, and the seller won in Iowa Park. And you're going to hear, this was an inherited property. It was an emotional experience for him. So I'm happy that we were able to help him out. And now a deal in Tennessee where a gentleman is financially distressed. He's having a lot go on with his life, is getting a win done there. We're going to make more money, and Claude gets another deal, and Jeremy gets another loan. That is how you win when you run a wholesale operation. So enjoy this live seller call. Show me some love in the comments. Make sure you like the video. We'll see you guys on the next one. Enjoy this call. Hello?
Hello.
Hey, is Donald there?
This is Donald.
Hey, Donald, this is RJ Bates calling about your property there on Ruby Avenue. Looked like you filled out a form on my website saying that you were looking to sell that property.
I did.
Awesome. How much were you looking to get for that?
I don't know. I was going to wonder if you probably just have to look at it and see what you think.
Okay, you didn't have a number in mind?
Not particularly. It needs remodel.
Okay. What all needs to be fixed up on it?
Edge roof. The bathrooms are redone.
Bathrooms have been, or they need to be?
No, they need to be.
They need to be. So like just cosmetic and then a roof. Anything else major system-wise?
It probably just needs a complete remodel, I would think.
Okay. Including like electricity and plumbing, or is that functional?
The electricity's fairly good. It's actually, I think it's still on. Yeah, the electricity's good. The plumbing's really, really out of date.
Gotcha. So it needs a lot.
Yes, sir.
Is it vacant right now, or is there somebody living there?
It's vacant.
How long has that been vacant?
For about almost a year, probably.
Was it a rental property before?
No, not really. My mom lived there, and then my brother-in-law lived there for a couple of years, and he passed away.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear about that.
It's been a year ago about, so.
Yeah.
Actually, my sister and my brother-in-law lived there, and they both passed away. So.
Jeez. So
it's been a while, so anyway.
Is it like, did you inherit it, or were you the owner that entire time?
I inherited it.
Gotcha.
I inherited it through, but I've got 5 brothers and sisters, one deceased, but I had to go through and get the power of attorney, and so I have the right to sell.
Right. So you're the decision maker.
Yes.
So taking a look at like the square footage and the age of the home, I mean, based off what you're telling me, it sounds like it's going to need a lot.
Correct.
It's kind of the reason why you're reluctant to kind of name a price because of the condition and kind of you don't know what it's worth at this point.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm hoping around 30,000, but that you may say no way, or that's a good deal. I'm not a construction person. I mean, it's one of the deals where you're probably going to have to put, 30,000 in it, like 25, 30,000, but that's still a big investment first. It depends,
Right.
I'm not that person.
Understood. I was going to tell you, I am a little bit below 30,000. One of the benefits that if you were to go with us would be that the number that I tell you is a net number. There's no commissions or closing costs or anything like that. The only thing that you would pay would be whatever is owed on the property. So if there's
a note on it.
Gotcha. So this would just be a net number. But I was actually coming in around 15,000.
I think it's worth 20 because it's on a lot and a half. Like I said, there's still a good margin for profit on that. What I got to do is I don't got to sell for market value. I know that, but I have to make an attempt to get
as much as possible.
Yeah, legally, I'm buying to.
I got you. Yeah. Well,
I think it's worth 20. I think you could make your money because it's big enough where that's kind of a plus minus. Big enough where you're going to get some good money for it, but you got to put a little bit more into it. But it's pier and beam, so that makes it a lot easier for a lot of stuff. I know.
Okay, you said it's on a lot and a half. Let me look at this. So
yeah, at least maybe 2 lots. I'm not sure.
Okay, I see it now from the up above. So is that a garage off to the left right there?
Yes.
Okay. There's no addition, right? It's still 1890 square feet.
I don't know the square footage. It's at least that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably pretty close. I mean, that's probably pretty close. It's probably right there too.
So in regards to you selling the property, you have the right to sign a contract, but then do you have to present it to the court?
I do not.
Okay. All right, let me look at one more thing. And all right, if I say I do 20, do we have a deal?
Yeah, I'd say so. What I have to do is I have to put that check in a account that's set up for my dad. He's passed away, so it's with me, the executor of it. So yeah, I would do that. I'd do 20.
Okay, I have your email.
All lowercase.
Okay. All right. I'll send over our agreement for the 20,000. It's just a simple 2-page contract. Once you sign that, then we'll need to go out there. We'll want to do a walkthrough of the property, inspect everything. And I'll go ahead in the meantime, open up title. And once that's clear, we'll probably get it closed in the next 3-4 weeks. Okay?
Okay.
All right, Donald. Well, I appreciate you. My name's RJ Bates, company's Titanium Investments, based out of Fort Worth, Texas here. So I'll get that sent over to you here in probably about 10-15 minutes. Okay?
Okay, you going to put that information you just told me on the email?
Yeah. You said, do I have the information?
No, are you good? What you just told me, you said your name was RJ Bates. You going to put that on the information you email me?
Yeah, well, it'll be on the purchase contract. So it'll show my company name as the buyer, and then you'll see my signature down at the bottom of the contract.
All right, that sounds good.
All right, Donald, I appreciate you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.